That was good fun, good fun. We right enjoyed that. Right. Now, can we get something started so that you're not going to walk out on me, are you?
No, you're going to walk out on us.
I'm going to walk out on you,
You
okay.
can come with us, actually, Mike.
Just leave 4 empty chairs here.
We'll be
just do the numbers and let the chairs do the talking, that's all. That song, of course, I mean, apart from being very popular, that had a crucial part to play in your careers, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I guess it was the beginning of a comeback for us. We'd been through a dry spell from about 1970 to about 1974.
No rain at all.
No rain. And we came to America to make an album. So Eric Clapton, we met Eric Clapton in the office, in Robert's office, and he said, I'm making a comeback, you know. And he'd done I Shot the Sheriff at 461 Ocean Boulevard in Miami, and he said, why don't you go and make an album in another country? In other words, go away. You know, so, which we did. So we went to Miami, and we fell in love with Miami, and we have homes there today.
Yes.
And so Jive Talkin was the beginning of a different era for us.
That's right, it started something good. But I mean, where did the ideas for songs come from? I mean, that one, for instance.
Well, Jive Talkin was actually originated on a bridge. It had a tar ridges over it, and we were on our way to the recording studio. And we were in the back seat, and the tyres going over these tar ridges made a noise, a rhythmic noise. And I think Barry picked up on this.
How did it go?
Well, and that was actually...
No, well, it's more of a chugga.
Yeah, it was.
But it had to be 35 miles an hour.
It made a noise going over a bridge, and that gave us the idea of a rhythmic start, the one that you hear on the record.
I mean, so the ideas come out of the blue, basically.
Yeah, basically they come in the middle of the night, you know, in the shower. Just like everybody else, you sing in the shower.
All at once.
All at once,
yeah.
I mean, you must have got ideas in the shower yourself.
I've had many ideas in the shower, but never for a song, actually.
The best one is when you go to bed at night and you have a little micro cassette and you think, oh, I've got an idea in the middle of the night, just in case.
Yeah.
And the next morning when you hear it, it's like, and you realise it was a waste of time.
That's right. Yeah. What about, I mean, what's the process then of writing the three of you? I mean, it must be complicated, or is it?
Well, it's not to us. It's instinctive to us. But
it's just like...
I mean, it all provides what? I mean, do you each have a separate function, or...
We don't all have roles. We can all have individual ideas. We could come to the table with a melody or a chorus. Maurice could come with a verse, I could come with a chorus, and Barry could come with a chorus, and sometimes that could make up one song. Or we could...
and then we all go to work.
Yeah, but it's a mood thing. You can actually write all day long and come up with nothing.
But we put a microphone up, make echo, make it sound like a record before you've written the song. Yeah. So it feels like you're singing on a record. And that inspires you to go to somewhere else.
When you're talking about making echo there, I read in the research that your early attempts to find echo took you to some very strange places, didn't it?
Yes.
Primarily, Lewis's department store in Manchester, which has the best toilets in the world.
Toilets are always good because of the tiles.
You laugh.
But it's true. And I actually read in Dusty Springfield's biography that she also was very keen on toilets and echoes. Well, the singers are.
Toilets are very popular in our business.
They are.
They are.
As George Michael so often says.
Yes.
Do you think... What's your theory about that?
Well, I got my own toilet. So.
we take our
Morris is
toilets
solo as well sometimes.
Yeah.
But
we're going to flash it as private.
I rent a crowd and bought a toilet.
No, seriously, we used to sing in sewage.
Great staircases, you know, stairwells.
Yeah.
We used to look for all those places where there was great echo. You know?
And when did you first discover this capacity to sing together?
In toilets.
In
No more toilet humour, please.
Well, I'm sorry. Piccadilly Circus was great.
Where did we learn the capacity to do it?
The three-part harmony. I mean, did it just come naturally, or what? It did.
Well, we started.
From what kind of age?
Me at about 9 years old. My 9th Christmas, Dad got me a guitar, and Morris and Robin started immediately. We all wanted to be pop stars because it was I think the year of Elvis Presley. I think it was the beginning of rock and roll, and Cliff Richards and people like that.
So, but I mean, the way you were at that time, it would seem quite unlikely. I mean, you were talking about Manchester, aren't we? And I mean, it's quite a rough area, Manchester, too.
Oh, yeah, and all the rougher because we were there.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Your problem family, were you?
Oh, yeah.
You had to be very careful in the toilets there.
No, never mind.
You did.
But Moss Side was basically where we used to...
Yeah.
Moss Side was where you were.
Chorlton, Moss Side.
Yeah.
Chorlton, Hardy.
I mean, that's a tough area, still is today.
Yeah, that was our sort of square mile, and we ruled it, you know. So, you know, we were kids on the street, and we rarely came home till very late at night. So it was, yeah, we were what you would call very young delinquents.
Well, delinquents?
Yeah. Well, I got 2 years probation.
For doing
which
what?
I'm very proud of.
For doing what?
For stealing a small racing car.
You've still got it.
I mean, we weren't that bad, but we were sort of...
more pranky.
We were rascals.
You're But what about Maurice? What about you? I mean, were you?
Oh, no, I was goody two-shoes, me.
Were you?
Barry and Robin were the arsonists.
Yeah.
Careful.
Very careful.
Arsonists.
Morris used to steal bottles of orange juice off people's
The
doorsteps.
first thing I ever did. That's the only crime I ever committed, and I got nicked.
So we knew it wasn't good for him.
So one day the police came round to the front door and said, and advised my mother and father to emigrate.
Yeah.
That
Did
it might be more prudent.
It was on the recommendation of the Manchester Constabulary.
Yeah. You know why?
Whoa.
Because the little car belonged to a policeman's child.
Yeah.
But what about education? Did it play any part in your childhood at all?
Not
Well,
much.
being educated.
Because my headmaster in particular was not a very nice man, and it used to frighten me. So from the age of about 7, I would try and escape from school. I would go to school, but I would never arrive.
Yes.
So I mean,
didn't?
no.
Oh, you bugger.
Well, our school looked a bit like Holditz, didn't it?
I used to hang out with other kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. We never got to school.
What about since? I mean, have you tried to replace that gap, that lack of education? I mean,
No.
But I only asked because I heard you, Robin, talking at rehearsal about spending time in the Imperial War Museum.
That's right,
And
yes.
I mean, it's one of your fascinations, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, I actually went to the Imperial War Museum once, and they had to emulate one of the air raid shelters from the Blitz. And I was sitting there in the dark, and it was really frightening. It was shaking away, and there was about 15 people in there with me. And suddenly they all started speaking German. And I
Psychotomy,
thought,
isn't
I said, this is the irony of this.
They came over to see what it was like.
And they were going, it must have been hell.
Let's go and have a look.
All right, so the police, on the advice of the constabulary,
Yeah.
you're on a £10 passage to
That's right.
to Australia. Now, there's a common fallacy abroad in this country that when you arrive in Australia, it's milk and honey. And of course, it wasn't like that, was it? For
Well, actually, there's two sides to it. It was absolute paradise. We'd never seen anything like that in our lives. We were brought up in Manchester. We'd never seen beaches, snow white beaches, and it was a wonderful place to grow up. I don't know where the downside is. You went to school in bare feet. You know, you didn't wear shoes.
Well, it was an upside for us.
Wonderful, yeah.
It was in Australia too, of course, that your career, your professional career, kick-started, wasn't it, really, in a sense?
Yes.
If you ever saw the film Crocodile Dundee,
Yeah.
well, you
Yeah.
see that bar at the beginning of the film. Well, those are the places we worked.
Yeah.
So it was very rough, and Australians have the great knack of fighting sitting down. And
It's amazing.
and they would never hit the jug of beer in the middle. They'd always move that a little bit and then belt each other. And
5 minutes later, the other guy hit back,
and we'd be singing away on stage, and these guys would be belting the hell out of each other, and they would stop to clap, and then they'd go back to belting each other. And so we used to work the pubs, and in New South Wales, where gambling's legal, there was all like nightclubs, like
RSL.
football clubs, RSL clubs, returned servicemen. So there's all the one-arm bandits, and we knew if they stopped playing them, we were okay.
But our
And we
audiences were
on.
always drunk. So
Always
hard to go wrong, you know, 3 kids and a drunken audience. You know,
Now, going back to that time in Brisbane, it's there the Beatles came onto the scene, and that was the sort of inspiration for your, as it was for many people at that time. To England, meeting Stigwood, and then it sort of taking off. You then went into this extraordinary, you went into the stratosphere, in a sense, and that's got its downside as well, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
So how did that affect you? I mean, what was the first indication you had of the downside, if you like, of fame?
But we thought we had a 5-year career. When we arrived in England, we thought, like every other group, that you really have a 5-year span, and then there's a new generation of children come along, and you sort of go out the window. And it sort of worked that way. By 1970, we were sort of null and void, you know, and we thought we weren't wanted. So for 4 years, we sort of dealt with that. We even split up, you know, because the Beatles split up, so did we. I guess they had so much influence on groups.
But was it just that? Or was it just this business of working together, even if you're brothers and close as you are?
We were just moving into our own lives as individuals. We'd lived together our entire lives at home with Mum and Dad. So becoming individuals and getting married, as I did at a very early age.
Getting your own bed.
Of course, we used
to sleep together.
We did. We weren't very well off when we were growing up at home, so we had to share a bed, the 3 of us.
Really?
And
Not the 3 of us. Surely, man, you jest.
I was talking about little kids here.
I hope so.
It's actually only 2 years ago. But
I've got to get a room tonight.
we were kids at the time. Remember, when we did split up, you know, we were still we'd just been 2 years out of living at home with our mother and father.
Yes.
And of course, we were actually doing a little bit better than them at the time because
Just
we
a wee
were
bit.
on the rare occasions, we were teenagers actually earning more
Yes.
money than our parents.
Yes.
Where it's usually the other way around, you know, the parents usually kick the kids out, go out and make some money, you lazy sods, you know.
Yes.
So Dad became sort of our manager and drove us around.
Yes.
Because you couldn't do those places. You couldn't work those kind of places as children without your father with you.
But what about the other temptations too? The pills, the drink, the drugs, and all that.
I didn't know you were doing that.
No, please.
But
How long has it been like?
You've been like in the green room.
Tell us about this, Michael.
that would happen. Now,
group
you're not going
hug.
to avoid the question.
M&Ms in there.
We understand, Michael.
Yeah, we do.
Group hug.
Yeah.
It's quite a feel a quality moment here.
Yeah, we all had our
Coming
periods.
up.
We all had that. We all had our choice of stimulants. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
And I go by what Tennessee Ernie
Tennessee Ernie what?
Tennessee Williams
Tennessee
said
Ernie.
he'd never written a book without a stimulant. You know.
Yes.
No,
So
that
I-
was Charles Dickens.
It was Charles Dickens.
I thought it was Winston Churchill.
No, that was something else.
No, Winston Churchill never did a speech without stimulant.
But you came through that. But I mean, sadly, of course, I mean, you lost a brother as well, didn't you, Andy? Who was. I saw a marvelous piece of footage when he joined you on stage at a concert in America. You described that. I think you, Morris, said that was one of the greatest moments of your life.
It was magic, yeah.
Yeah.
It was to see us all together. In fact, even John Travolta was on that show too.
Yes.
But it was in Houston, and he was doing Urban Cowboy. John was filming that there, and Andy was with us and joined us in Houston. And to come on and do You Should Be Dancing with us, and he was sharing my microphone. And I could see the tears in his eyes as well.
He's
And
standing
we
on
were
his foot.
Yeah, I was. We've got to get a bigger mic. So we'd sing around the mic, and I just saw across his face, and I saw Barry and Robin, and it was just the four of us. That one shot was just like, made me feel like totally, it was like whole.
And
Everything was...
it would have been four of us.
Yeah,
it would have
it
been
would've
four
been
of
four.
us.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he died of a heart problem.
Well,
yeah.
he died of a combination of things.
Yes, I mean, he was on drugs.
Yeah,
and-
I think all of those things added up.
Did that
Well,
make
that's
you
the
take
first Spain
stock?
thing.
I mean, did that make you take stock
Yes,
of
you-
yourselves?
yes.
I mean, I suppose
You do. You feel very vulnerable. You feel very... I mean, you're 8 years older. I was 8 years older
Yes.
than Andy.
You also realize that it could be tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, that everything, you take everything for granted until someone really close to you dies. And anyone who hasn't lost someone of their own blood thinks totally different than anyone who has lost someone of their own blood.
Yes.
And that's something we've noticed since.
Yes.
You become more spiritual, you grow inside.
Yes.
You know?
I think that's all part of the growing, yeah.
Yeah.
What about the really so extraordinary part of your career was to come after that, and that was Saturday Night Fever.
Yes.
Right.
As I said, 50 million copies sold. How long did it take to write that, by the way?
3 minutes and
50
42
million
seconds.
minutes. We think the magic came from the fact that they shot the music the movie to the music.
Yes.
As opposed to the other way around, which
Yes.
Hollywood usually does. And you can tell when you watch a film that it's not the music they were dancing to.
Yes.
When they shot the scene.
But that took you into another realm altogether, didn't
Yes.
it? That
A level we didn't know about. Yeah.
Really.
Because it came right just after Star Wars. And it was one of those rare type of incidents where people just went to see. I mean, we were sitting in Robert's house in Los Angeles, and the guys from Paramount called up and said there's just queues all around the block for this film.
A million albums a week.
That's true.
So it was pretty shocking for us. We'd never been in a position like that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just a normal hit album. You know,
Yes.
it was a bit rare.
So, but how did it change your life
Well,
after that?
in a way that it changed Michael Jackson's life. Everything changes, including your clothes. It's
God.
true. It's true. Our clothes changed because we were going for something. In the way that Elvis Presley was going for something towards the end of his career when he put the white jumpsuit on. It made you feel different, and
Well, that was the
that's all
fashion.
that we were doing. And you tend to dress up. You tend to become larger than life.
Yes.
But as it was in those days, in the 70s, it was a more dress-up kind of period.
Yes. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So-
certainly.
And everybody was doing
Yeah.
it.
Sure. But I mean, what was the downside of that? That
Well,
you
the
got stuck
backlash,
with it?
obviously. Disco became so enormous before we ever thought it was disco. And it just went through the roof. And to a point that I think that the media, not the public so much, but the media wanted to change it all. And I think we became the poster boys for that period.
The poster boys.
Yeah. The patsies.
Yeah.
And, you know, we should
Scapegoats.
go, everybody disco should go, heavy rock should take over. And the media got this in its own mind, you know. You can, what still baffles us is that you can be put on a pedestal and then knocked off the pedestal for something that's incredibly successful. And you don't, in other words, you don't get actually thanked for it. You get knocked over for it. So there's
How dare you inflict that upon us?
Yes. so it's always been a confusing.
But isn't the end? But isn't the bottom line though? Where I understand. I've seen you be in an interview before, and you get quite defensive about.
Well, no, only because the way we're asked the question. Yeah.
But what I can't understand is that surely as performers, the bottom line is success.
Yes, that's what we kept saying.
Well, so I mean, but there you are. I mean, look, you're in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You've sold squillions of records.
Yes, but we wouldn't have known that then.
No, but I mean,
Right.
but I mean, you were financially secure. You could turn around and say, well, there's the, look at my bank balance, look at yours. I mean, why
Yeah,
bother?
but that isn't what you do.
That isn't what it's about.
No, you put your kids through school, put food on the table, but people don't like your music all of a sudden.
No.
Yeah. And that makes you defensive.
Yeah, that was a particularly true of that period. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I
once
mean,
again, it wasn't,
but again and again, I mean, you've come through that sort of thing and reinvented yourself again. I mean, because the '90s, of course, was the time when the kids' bands started picking up your music and all that sort of a new generation.
We would never have
to your
known
music.
that this could happen, like
was
Boyzone
wonderful.
and
Take That.
It's interesting actually watching your career and watching you on stage because I mean you're in many ways a variety act, aren't you, as well as?
Well, we started as children in variety.
You should see our bird in a river dance.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We called it pond dancing.
Puddle dancing.
Puddle dancing, I'm sorry.
Oh, a merry laugh, a merry jest, a couple of tumbles.
But you did Battle Variety Club, and your heroes are all those people like my heroes, like Morecambe and Wise, and
sure.
people like that.
Yes.
They're great people like that. So you're in that tradition as well.
Yes.
And maybe that's something too that
It's all
that
incumbent,
separates you.
Well, that's always stayed with us, though, the English humour particularly. I mean, when we come back to England, we're always raiding the BBC video shop.
Well, you
and
came
stuff.
today, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, first place we went
But
to.
what are you buying?
Harry Enfield,
Steve Coogan.
Goon shows, Tony
All the Goon
Hancock.
shows, get all the
Tony
Goon
Hancock,
shows.
Everything we can get so that we have a little bit of England when we go back to America.
Rick Mail, Bottom.
Right, so now you've got this new album out now. So where does that take you to now? I mean, it's called.
This is where I came in.
This is where, precisely. Yeah. So that's a meaningful title.
It is to us, yes.
Yeah.
We decided to do three of us split up and went our own way and did 3 songs each on our own.
All right.
Because, we've done about 35 albums. Let's do something that we haven't done before. Maurice, go do your songs. Robin, go do yours. And I'll go do some of mine. And so, like 2 or 3 songs each. And then we'll do 4 together. And then we'll find out what makes up the album, how it works. And what came from that is a great sense of variety on the album. That is the difference, I think.
And it's
It's
also
a mixture of all each other's
You get to know
influence.
each brother, I think, a bit more.
It's an indication too, of course, of your rock bottom strength, isn't it? That the ability to
Our bottoms are very strong.
to write songs.
We have got very strong bottoms.
He can crack peanuts.
Write songs. All right, now this song. This is where I came in. Who wrote this one? I heard
Well,
what
no,
you
he
said.
told me that.
No, I smiled inwardly.
I know you did.
Yes.
I heard you.
Inwardly.
Don't worry, Michael, we'll all be leaving together.
You're all going to tell you. Right, so this song, the title song of the album, now, was that an amalgamation song, or was it one?
Well, one
That
of
was
the,
written by us.
we don't remember where the title came from, but we've always, every 10 years or so, we've sort of said to each other when we've heard records,
What's your name?
No, this is where I came in, It doesn't really change that much, does it? Music doesn't change. I mean, Ricky Martin, is that his name?
That's him.
Yeah, that's him. Big lad, funny walk.
It's still disco to
Yes.
us, it's still dance music.
Yes.
And more than ever now, people are dancing.
Yes.
Far more than the 70s.
Yes.
So this is where we came in.
All right. So that's what you're going to sing now.
Yes, sir.
That's going to finish this spot, and then after I talk to Sir John Mills, you're going to come back and do
We'd be delighted.
one of the golden oldies.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes.
right. Well,
Yes, sir.
across you go, sir.
Thank
Bring your
you.
band there, the Bee Gees.